Morning, everybody. So I was hesitant to make this video because I don't know how hard it's going to be for me to do it. I would like to say that the video is mostly for moms out there, especially moms that have suffered severe abuse by their partner while raising their kids, knowing that possibly their kids were being hurt too, but not sure how to do anything about it. Now, if you're a kid who maybe felt abandoned by their mom, you might want to stick around. I don't know. Maybe not. But not last night, but the night before, I had a pattern click in my head, a pattern that I think has haunted women for decades. And basically what I saw was myself, and I've been working a lot with my therapist lately on letting go of mom guilt, because it's really hard to let go of mom guilt. And I'm here to tell you that you are allowed to forgive yourself. I saw myself from like an outside perspective, finally, for the first time in a bigger picture, where my stepfather had programmed me since childhood to hate everything that was natural about a feminine person, about a divine feminine. My intuition, my emotions, my creativity even, right? It was all something that was meant to be controlled, suppressed, boxed. Something I needed a man to help me with. I was also taught, from a very young age about grooming, and I mean that in a literal sense, right? It was my stepfather who taught me how to brush my hair and wash my face and what clothes to wear and blah, 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 blah. That's part of what pedophiles do. Grooming is a large concept. But anyway, so I was groomed mentally, emotionally, abused physically, sexually, mentally. So when I went and found a partner that matched what I was familiar with, right? We're attracted to our familiar. It was easy for him to play on all my triggers. And from the very beginning of our relationship, he mocked me, made fun of me, made sure that he put me down before we became intimate. Often, he compared me to other women, other wives, shamed me constantly, but always, encouraged things like he picked me because I was stable, he picked me because I was practical, he picked me because I was logical. And then when the picture zoomed out and I could see the whole thing, I could see that I was managing his life like I was his mother, making his lunches, doing all the grocery shopping, planning all of the events, all the holidays, organizing all the bills. Anytime he wanted to have friends over, I had to organize and host all of that. Most of my money went to our bills. I would say like 90% of it, until we had kids, and then a lot of it went to the kids. But again, bills. I never had any spending money. I don't even know where his money went. I mean, I do know now where it went, but I didn't then. It was amazing how much money he'd make and it would just disappear. Anyways, when you're constantly being physically and emotionally abused as a woman, meaning like every action you do, right? Like we'd go out to a party and I'd come back and he would tell me all the things I had done wrong and why all the women there hated me. Or we would be intimate in the bedroom and then he would shame me and say, well, you suck in bed, you're like this, you're like that. And he, always putting you down. And I mean, later on things became more physical, and it becomes hard to function when you're literally walking on eggshells waiting for the next time the person you live with is going to blow up, lose his shit, and yell and scream at you, maybe pin you to the wall or have you cowering on the floor, and all you want to do is make it stop any possible way you can. So you do all the things he tells you to do, no matter how degrading or how shameful. But emotionally, you check out, okay? And it's all you can do to function. It's all you can do to live. And then you had kids, okay? So you're giving everything you have to somebody who's just using you. And then you have these innocent little people that you're trying to protect from yourself, because you know you're not right in the head. And also from their mood swings, because they've already made it very clear that their behavior is 100% dependent on your ability to please them. The amount of times I was told that the reason why he was treating the children badly was because I hadn't made him satisfied in the bedroom, or I hadn't taken care of all the chores. It was weekly. It was a 3 to 4 day cycle that we would go through. I'd have like one day where maybe he'd be kind without wanting something from me. But then it would slowly build up, and by the 3rd or 4th day, the yelling, the screaming, the torment would occur until I did exactly everything he wanted the way he wanted. And it would still never be good enough, of course. So you still never, you know what I mean? Like, there's no winning. That really messes up a woman's head. If you haven't lived in that kind of abuse, that psychological torture, you have no right to judge another woman for not leaving their abuser. Especially if she grew up being trained and programmed that that's what she deserved, that that is what life is. I had to forgive myself for not being able to see the abuse that was happening to my children. In my heart, I knew something was wrong, so I started sleeping in their bedrooms, because that's the only time my anxiety stopped, that I could rest and sleep. I didn't realize that when he came in at night screaming and yelling at me and making me go upstairs and do stuff I didn't want to do was because I had been blocking him from going to what he really wanted, was the children. I didn't know. If you're a mother who's now reached a level where you understand that your children were being abused too, not just you, you're allowed to forgive yourself. You can't see a pattern when you're in the pattern. You can't break free and heal the parts of you that need to heal in order to be a mom that you need to be when you're in the abuse. If I hadn't gone to trauma therapy, it took a year, okay? I was able to confess what my stepdad had done to me, but it took an entire year or more before I was able to confess even to my trauma therapist what my partner was doing to me. And then it took 2 months of telling my kids they didn't have to keep secrets for a grown-up before I learned what else was going on in my house. I can't tell you how painful dealing with that guilt and shame was, and how sometimes it still haunts me. We all have demons. It's learning how to work with them and not be afraid of them. That's the problem. And it's okay if you're not ready. But I want you to know you're not alone. You're not alone. You're really not. There's many of us out there, okay? Many of us. And I want you to know that no matter where you are in your journey, your healing journey, if you're watching this, you're already working on it. It's going to take time. Okay? Be kind to yourself. And just know that even if we can't change the past, what we do today is what really counts. So love yourself today as much as you can. And if you can forgive yourself, please do. Work on it. It's going to take time.